A blind hem can be easily mastered with the Sapphire sewing machine. First off, it's how you fold the fabric. So first, take your fabric, get it pressed to the final hem that you need on your project. Then what you're going to do is you're going to press it back just by with your fingers. So what you can do is this, you might overlock this edge with one of the overlocking stitches. We've just pinked it so it actually won't unravel. That's another way of doing it. And then what we can do is actually select, this is kind of a heavy woven fabric. And technique number 5 is the blind hem. It will remind us which stitch we need and also which foot we need to put on the machine. And that is letter D for the blind hem foot. Now, blind hem foot is made special where it has a big toe and a little toe, and also the little toe is higher up than the big one. So it kind of has a 2-level process because when you sew, half the foot is going to be on 3 layers and another half is just going to be on a single layer. So that's going to help make sure you have even pressure on all layers of fabric at once. So after you get that set, you're going to notice that we're all set. It tells you which needle to have on, so you're really set to go. Lower the presser foot by touching the button 2 times, 1, 2, and then that way you can adjust and make sure that the fold that you are working with is running right down the center of the presser foot. And once you start stitching, that needle's going to jump into the fold. And what you want to do is make sure that it's jumping and catching just the smallest little bite all the way down. Sometimes I'll even kind of gently hug it and kind of force it up against that bigger toe on the right side just to make sure I'm getting a nice catch and making sure it stays nice and even. So let's take a look. Here's what's going to look like from the inside. So you've got this all the way across here, and you see that I've cut just enough to kind of hold on to it. This is so much faster than doing it by hand. And look at the front side. This is what you're after. Now, of course, if I didn't have blue thread on and I had matching thread, you'd barely see it. But the idea is that you have little tick marks, and as long as they are consistent in bite, even if they were to show a little bit more, this fabric's a little on the thicker side, so it's a little bit more forgiving. But if you had a pair of, for example, wool pants, that's going to really kind of simulate what we're working on. Consistency is what you're after. If you have big marks and small marks, then you might want to just work on guiding your fabric straighter through with the blind hem foot. The foot's going to do the work for you. The stitch is going to catch, and it's going to really be perfect. If you need to, you can adjust the stitch width if you need a little bit bigger bite, or if it's getting too big of a bite, like on a lighter weight fabric, you can reduce that down, and then it won't bite as much. But again, your sewing advisor will help with that because as you go to a heavier fabric, it will make the bite just a little bit bigger. And then also too, if we go to let's make sure I still have blind hem selected. When you go to one of the stretch fabrics, it will pick the stretch blind hem. So it'll have a little bit of give as you pull on it when it's done. So blind hem stitch is something that my mom did alterations. She used all the time on her machine, and it made life so much easier than doing things by hand.